So, do you have any questions from previous session, yesterday's session? Okay. So we were seeing the data types, changing the data types, right? Setting the correct data type, and we started seeing the errors and all. Okay. We had also seen how we can fix the errors with underlying data, right? Or we have if we have error, right? So let's go ahead and see more on this. Fine. Uh, this is the data set we brought in, right? Sales 2016-17 data, right? And we had fixed many of the issues with the data set. So let's see. Yeah, we have taken these actions, right? All these actions. So you can also recreate this. You can just see like what are the different options you have or actions you have taken, right? With all these steps, all of these are possible. So if you want to add any other steps in between, you can always do that, right? You can always add some other steps in between, but you should also remember that this whatever step you are going to insert, right? That is going to affect the later steps, next steps. Okay, so you have to just take care of that. Even we don't need these errors because we have already fixed the error data and we want to delete this group. So let's see more today on this data set.
So we
Fine.
do not need the error group anymore just because we fixed it already.
No, actually, we never need that error group. Okay, even that is not required. But as we means we uh, applied this data set, whatever steps we have applied here. Once if this data set here, okay, if this has some error and we try to apply these steps, right? So it will show us error while we close and apply and brought and add it into the model, the data set. If we add it into the model, it will show us error here. Okay. For that reason, if we click on this error, this will create a different group with the error records, right? So it is just to show you like what is the error, what are the error records, and how you can fix to let you know, right? How you can fix that, so you will be able to get from here. Okay. But if you have applied everything correctly, there is no error on the data, right? There is no error on this file or table, right? So you will never get that error, those records. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have already seen these things, right? Now, let's see. Uh, there is, you can see in this data set, suppose we want to use the cells. Now, we want to analyze the cells. Okay. Sales means the number of sales we have made, number of products we have sold, right? And the revenue, generated out of that, revenue generated out of the sales, and what are the stocks we have, right? We want to analyze these things, right? So, if we want to analyze how many total, sales or total sales has been made during year 2017 or the quarter of 2017, right? We want to visualize or analyze that those information, right? We want to analyze the sales, number of sales made, fine, or quantity sold, right, during 2017 first quarter, second quarter, or monthly wise, or anything, right, like that, right? So we want to just check the sales, fine. Now what we have to do is on y-axis, we are just putting the cell. But you can see that for the sales, we are just getting the count, right? And as I said before, okay, I want to check the sales based on order date, and this order date is only we have data for 2017, right? So we want to just make it, or we want to analyze this data on monthly basis or yearly basis, or quarterly basis. Okay, so go ahead, it is quarterly basis. So we want to analyze this data, but what we want to analyze, the number of the quantities, total quantities sold. Sales is here the quantity, number of quantities of the product which got sold, right? So we want to analyze that, fine. We want to analyze that sale. But here you can see, if you go to the data view, right, you can see that this sales is not a numeric type. It is character string type, right? So what do we do now? What we have to do? What action we have to take to make it numeric, right? You can see that there is some text, there is some digit or numbers, there are numbers, and this text string cells, right? So if we remove these cells, right, if we remove these cells, then our numbers can be made to change to numeric type, right? These all these digits or numbers can be changed to numeric type. So the very first thing we would try to do is to remove these string information, these characters or text from this column. Then we'll convert this to number type, right? For that, what we have, we go to the transform data, right? You have to go to the transform data, and now if you uh, go to cells, right? So here you will have the replace values. You can see here we have the replace values, right? So what we can do to replace values? We can just replace the click it here. Okay. Now you want to replace space, then cells, right? With nothing, right? With nothing, no space, nothing, right? So you want to replace like that. So here you can see that everything got replaced. All of that got replaced. Fine. Now you can change it to numeric type, whole number. The sales will always be in whole number, right? Number of quantities got sold. So this is easy, right? That we can just replace anything. We can replace any values, right? We want. So here you have just seen that this replace tool we can use for replacing any fixed information or any information which is easy to replace, right? So that is we have just done it, right? So you may have two, three different, text information also that you can also do, that you can also remove using replace by again and again changing that, right? Replacing that. So we have just done that. Now, if you go back to the reporting, and still it is count. So let's see this count of cells, but you will see that here now on this y-axis, there, right? This is numeric amounts to plot. We have to, on y-axis, we have to plot what? Numeric amounts, right? So earlier it was count of cells because we did not have it numeric. We did not have the numeric values here. We had just the text information. Now it is changed and the data type is numeric. You will see that we have more options. We have sum, we have average, we have this, right? We can get the sum of quantity sold for each quarter. Fine. Now you can see that we have all the number of quantities sold, right, for each quarter. So this is all of these visualizations depend on all of these visualizations depend on the correct type, okay, correct column type. If it is not correctly assigned the data type, correct data type, so you will not be able to perform many of the actions you want to perform on those data. Fine. So always remember that you must have to correctly set a data type for the data items or columns. Right. So this is just one replace tool we have just seen. Let me get some more data into the model. Okay. Let's see. We have product information. Okay. We have product information or we have city information. Right. We have city information, and we are going to, as we had said, these information, whatever data set we are just bringing now into the model, that is just for seeing the different issues in the data set and to do the basic cleaning activities. In actual, we'll be using the Microsoft simple database called AdventureWorks. Okay, and we are going to use all of this data, right? AdventureWorks data, right? And we'll see that. I am going to now include this store city information, and let's see what we have in that store city. Right? Transform and load. Fine. Now we have some more activities to perform. Very first thing is we have to make the first row as header, right? So we have just done that, and you can you can rename the column, right? Proper naming convention you can give, okay? So I'm leaving it to you. And now we will see what are the issues with this data, or what are the cleaning activities we may want to perform on this data, right? So here you can see one thing is store size, right? The store size is numeric, and then we have the units, square meter or cubic meter or something like that, right? We would like to perform some actions on this store size. We may want to see uh, the company's total store size in a city. Okay, uh, there may be many stores in a same city or same state, right? There are many stores, and company wants to know that uh, the stores, whatever stores they have, right, how much total size is there, so that they can plan their product, right, sales, and they can handle the customers, maybe a huge number of customers, taking interest in these stores, and numbers of customers are coming in to these stores. So they may want to increase the size, and they may want to analyze the different city stores, and based on the analysis, they may want to increase the size or decrease the size, or somewhere if business is not going well in some places, they may want to decrease. Where the business is going well, they may want to increase the size and all. So there may be many activities, yeah, based on the data. But here, if we want to analyze the size and all based on the city or the state, right, we will not be able to perform it, right? Will not be able to perform it. So, can you suggest me like what we can do here to you know uh, get the only the numbers? Can we utilize the replace value tool here? Any idea?
Maybe use replace twice.
Yeah. So maybe, right? Maybe we can use replace, but if you want to use replace, right, you have to use replace for all of these values, different units, m square, then qm, then and also taking these values like m square and all, it's little tough, right? So here replacing these values is little tougher, right? So we have other tools also to clean it or to make it, you know, to get only the numeric values, right? So we have, right, extract tool. We call there is a tool here. We have replace values. We have the extract tool where which will from where we can extract the data. So under the transform, right, you can see here there is a tool called extract. Fine. So in this tool, we can extract the length, right? The first few characters, we can extract first character, last character, or range of data, right? Or text before delimiter. Based on the delimiter, also we can extract text after, text between, right? So these are the few activity. These are the few operations we will be able to perform with extract information. Fine. So you may have already seen these extract and all those all these things, right? In SQL also you have functions to get substring or something like that, right? Or you have many other functions in different tools. Same tools here also we have in Excel extract, yeah, in this shape extract, and you can see all of the options you may have tried there also is here. Even more options are there, right? You don't have to write anything, right? So here you can see the text before, text after, text delimiter. These are very useful uh, options. Fine. So text before delimiter, and what is the delimiter we have here? Space. We can use the text before delimiter, and we can use the text after delimiter, and so on. Let's see, text before delimiter, and we have the here we have the space. Fine. And we can just get the text before. Okay, I think I had chosen the wrong column. Let me go back and choose this column. Okay, and do the text before delimiter space, and this is done. Yeah, so easy, right? So here it is done, and all the numeric values you have just got it. So you may have a question like we had different, we had different units, right? Just getting this numeric value will not bring all of these into a single data type or single, unit, right? So we have only getting the numeric value or changing it to different, single unit, right? That may be difficult. So you may also want to keep the unit on the next column, right? You may have that also, that I want to see in one of the column, I want to see entire all the size in numeric form so that I can do some activities, and the unit, near to that, so that I also know in which unit this data is there, right? So you can do that also. So this is extract function, and with extract what you have just done, you have got only the numeric values. So let's go back and see, like you don't want to lose the unit, and so what you can do, you can just copy duplicate the column, right? You can duplicate the column, and you want to have both of these, right? You want to have the unit and want to have the numbers, right? Both of these. So just text before delimiter and space. This is only give us the number. And here, if you go back and do the extract and text after delimiter, right, and space, and you just get the uh, units, fine, in the second column. But this is the hard way, right? This is the hard way to get, because you have to first you have to do a duplicate column, create a duplicate column, then you have to extract the values, right, twice, thrice. So there are a lot of operations you have to make here, many operations you have to do, right, one by one. So what we want to do is, right, we may want to even we have the powerful options to get this data into different columns, and those are called split column, fine. Those are the split column. And let's see, okay, uh, so let's see this is split column options. Here we have again the similar options like the extract function. Like the extract function, you have the similar options here also uh, in the split. So let's see what are the options we have. Right, delimiter option. We have the number of characters. By number of characters, you can split it, right? You can split it by positions, right? So by lowercase to uppercase, by uppercase to lowercase, by digit to non-digit, by non-digit to digit, right? You can use delimiter, you can use these options. In this case, you can use even digit to non-digit, right? And position is not an option, because here you are seeing that the first numbers may be 2 digit, 3 digit, or 4 digit, any number. It may be any number, right? We don't know about this, right? And also about the stored size unit, right? It may be anything, m square or qm, like that. We don't know how many characters are there, right? So that's fine. We can we can split these values. See here, we have 101 and 3 digit, 2 digit, and 1 digit. So we don't know how many characters we have to split, right? Or what is the position we have to split this. So we can, wherever it is there, that we can use the position to split the data, right? So you can just say like, okay, third position we want to split the data, right? So you can just see the third position, you have just splitted the data, right? Split column by positions, right? Or here we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to utilize the delimiter option. Okay, we want to utilize the delimiter option. And what is this delimiter? Space. Already it is uh, identified. Already it is identified, and each occurrence of delimiter, we want to split it. Okay, so maybe 3 digit, 4 digit, maybe three word, 4 word is separated by space is there, right? By delimiter is there. So all of the word will be taken into different column, right? So let's see, with this space delimiter split, you can see that it is easily split into two columns. Fine. And this is very easy. So now you can just say like, this is store size, fine. And this is the unit of the size. Right? So you can just rename all these columns and all those things, right, yourself. And now you have just got this in just 2 steps, right? In just one step, you have just got the splitted. You have got this data splitted into two columns. Fine. Let's see. Now we have also this state abbreviation, city. all of these, and you want to split this. You want to split this into these three part of the column, right? Is state, city, and every this one. So you have the option here also, split by column. Just right click and split by column, or you can also use the split function from here. Fine. So that's how you will be able to split this. So let's see. Now what you want to do is split by delimiter. You can split it by delimiter, or you can split it by any other option, right? You have uppercase to lowercase, right? Or something different, right? You just need to see which option will be better for this kind of data set to split this data, right? So we can clearly see that here in this case we have the hyphen as the delimiter. So we can use a delimiter hyphen to get all of the three part separate, right? Or if you want to just get the first two part, not the second part, right? You can also check the all of those options like okay, first or based on the number of characters you want to just get the state, right? Number of by number of characters. Let's see, you want to just get the let me do one thing. I want to do here. Okay, and let's check split by number of characters, right? And you what you want to do, number of characters once repeatedly. So maybe number of characters, two number of characters repeatedly, right? uh, so here you can see that for it is splitting with the two number of characters, and it is creating for each of the two characters a single column. But we don't want that, right? You can check those. Fine. They split by number of by delimiter on by position, right? Here you can see this position. You can just give the position with the split points, like what are the points you want to split, what are the positions you want to split. So from 0 position to 3 position, we want to 3 position to 5 position, and we want to split at 0, 3, and 5, right? So let's see, here you can just see that 0 position to 5 position, 3 position, right? We have one split, then 3 to 5 we have one split, and from 5 to other we have another split, right? So but we don't want that, right? We want to just get the uh, we want to just get the three part separately. So in that case, what we just do is the split column and do it by delimiter. And here you can see that delimiter is already identified. So sometime it is getting correctly identified, sometime it is not, right? And it is identified. It is identified, right? Only the hyphen is identified. We can also use the space, right? Space hyphen space. So we can use this delimiter to split all of the data, right? So we are just splitting the column, and we have got the different column, right? You can just rename it. Like first is the state, then we have the state abbreviation, right? State abbreviation, and we have the city. And now it's just done, and you will be able to now analyze. You will be able to now analyze all of the, you know, able to analyze the size and all, right? In which state, how much size is there, and all those informations you will be able to analyze. Fine. So let's see. We want to analyze this data, right? The size and all for different cities. And we are also going to analyze it, for different cities. We want to see how much, revenue is getting generated from different stores, or from different city, or from different states, right? How much total revenue is getting generated. And we can also compare the generation of store size, compare the revenue generated with the store size, okay, and the city, which city has more revenue, which city is generating more revenue, and all of those things, right? And that's why we are doing the analysis, right? So, yeah, let's close and apply this one and check here. This is applied, and we can now, visualize the size and all. Fine. Let's check the size. Okay, I don't want to keep it here. Let's keep this only. Okay, so now we want to check the size of the store size or something like that in the table format. Or what do we have in the stores? We have the stores and the city. Fine. We have state, or we want to just check the size based on the state. Okay. These are store, and this is the store size. But you can see that we are getting the splitted data, means in this Alabama, maybe this is Alabama, maybe, right? AL, we have these many stores, and the individual size of that stores, of the stores in that city, in that state, right? So why this is not aggregated? We don't even have the option to aggregate here, right? Because we have not set the proper data type, right? So you have to go and set the proper data type for the stores. Now we'll learn another way to set the data type. Okay, so we had till now we had manually set the data type one by one, right? Or the particular or the similar columns which will have the same data type, just select everything together and change the data type. Now we are just going to do it, together, all the columns at once. Okay, how we are going to change all the columns data type at once, and we don't have to do anything. Here you can see I have just selected all the columns by pressing the shift button, right? And here now we have the under the transform option, we have an option called detect data type. Okay, so this detect data type will automatically detect the column type based on the data underlying data. Okay, so let's see and change the data type. So these are all string data type, and you can see the city store size. So you can see the store size is already changed to numeric number type. We did not change it, so it is automatically changed, right? Based on the data whatever we have, based on the detection. Okay, so now we have detected that column, and go back and change and apply. We'll see what is showing here. So still it is not showing because it is not changed. Okay, the summary option is not changed. And now you can see we have so many options available. We have so many aggregation options available: sum, average, minimum, maximum. We want to do sum. And now you can see per state you have only one column, one row of information, right? Per state it is, right? So you have just got the store size. You can even change this to the graph, the chart. fine. So we just have got the store size, right? And what we want to do is, okay, so we have just got the store size, right? And now what we may want to do is also we may want to see this data, the store size, and this based on the city, right? Based on the city of business, right? We want to check how much revenue or sales is happening in that city, how much revenue we are generating from that city, right? We want to analyze that. So how do we do that? We have to bring the revenue from the orders table, right? Or sales from the order table, and the city information from the city table, right? Let's say we want to analyze the cells. And in the column, right, in the column chart, what we are doing is we are going to get the city in the x-axis and sales on the y-axis, revenue on the y-axis. Okay, so we see that each of the column, right, each of these data, each of this data set is having the same height, right? Same height. So can you point out what is the issue here we may have? What may be the reason that we have only the same height? It is not changing based on the different city we have included. Do you have any idea on this? Yeah. Okay. So you may, by just seeing this data, you may see that all of these is same data, right? And we can change it to table. Okay. We can change it to table format, table data. And now you can see all of these are same. All of the revenue, right? All of the city has the same revenue. That means there is something wrong with the data, right? So here what has happened? It is a cross-join data, cross-join information, right? So this cross-join information, why do we have the cross-join information? Because we don't have any linkage between the city and the this other sales table, sales fact table, right? We don't have any linkage on these two. Fine. So very first thing is we have to start looking at this on this, right? Also that we get a proper links between the tables, which is like relation. We have to create the relationship between the tables, right? As like in the SQL, we are creating the joins, left outer join, inner join, outer join, and all those things, right? The same join we have to utilize here. With the same thing we have to do also here to create a model. So for that, we are going to use the modeling tool. Okay, we have here the modeling tool, right? Modeling model view, and here you will be able to create the model. Okay, so now to create a model, we have all of these different, you know, tables brought into the model. We need to establish a relationship within these two tables. So it is very easy here. We don't have to think much on this, right? How we can just create a relationship between these two is just by dragging the foreign key onto the, uh, you know, dragging the foreign key onto the primary key or unique key, right? Like that. Or dragging the common column onto the another common column in different table, right? Here, city ID is the one which will identify this table uniquely, right? So primary key, this will act as a primary key. Maybe store cities in a city. There may be many stores. So store ID is the primary key in this case, right? So here store ID, that same store ID we have also here in the sales fact table, and in the sales fact table this act as a work as a foreign key, right? So we can just drag this store ID key onto the other store ID in the sales fact table, and you would know that it is automatically creating a cardinality. It is automatically setting the cardinality and the filter direction. So we will discuss about the filter direction and all these things more later. For now, just remember that we can create we can create the relationship just by dragging a column onto the another column. So these columns should be the one should be primary, one should be foreign key, right? The relationship we are always creating between primary key or foreign key and foreign key. Or if we don't have any such column which acts as a primary and foreign key, we look for the common, or we look for the column which has the same values, similar values, right? Or same values. So yeah, you should remember that we always create the joins between primary key and foreign key, like that, right? uh, so we will see also in the maybe tomorrow session or next session on Monday. We'll see also what are the different modeling techniques we have. Okay, we are going to see data warehousing basic concept, right? And we'll see that in that case, right? So yeah, we have these store IDs, and the relationship is created just by dragging this column onto the another column. And we are seeing also this here cardinality, one to many cardinality, and a direction of this. So what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? Just double click on that relationship and you'll see that you have the table here and this store ID selected here, and store ID selected here. That means we have joined between these two, right? These two are highlighted. And here we have the cardinality many to one. What does this mean? That this sales table will have many records corresponding to the store table, store cities table. So one store city, the table will have one row per store, right? It will not have duplicate row for the store in this city table, but the in the fact table, or in the sales table, we have many cells from the same store. So we'll have many row for the same store, right? For the same store ID, we will have many row created, right? That's why this side is many side, and sales side is many side, and the store side is one side, right? So many to one relationship. And cross filter direction, this direction is single direction, which tells us the we can filter the data only from sales table. If we select this, and based on this selection we can filter the data on the sales table. Not, we cannot filter the store table, right, based on the selection of this sales 2017 raw data. Based on this selection, we cannot filter this data, as the direction is from CT to sales table, right? That's why this says the filter, this signifies the filter things, like which table data we can filter. So we are going to check that. We are going to see that later, after we complete our data warehousing basics, right? For today, we were just seeing the information here. Like now you can see that this data is got changed, right? This data got changed, and all the cities have now different uh, amount of revenue. right? Earlier it was only one, and it was the total value 31,765. Earlier this was that value, right? For all of the city, we had only one value, and that was 31,765. Fine. Okay. So now every city has got the proper data, proper values. Okay. And that is the uh, that is because of we have now correctly uh, set the relationship between these two tables. Okay. Let's see more on to this transformation, right, of the data. So this store cities even have now also more information. We are seeing here that we have latitude and longitude, right? We can also split this data latitude and longitude. What this latitude and longitude give? This will give me the location, city information, right, on the map where the city is located, right? That information it will give on me on the map, right? So let's see. Let's split this column also and quickly see it in the map by delimiter. And we are just splitting it by delimiter, but you can see that there is no such delimiter available. Okay, no delimiter available. It was getting a delimiter dot, but the dot is or the point is not a delimiter here, but we have delimiter is like space, then slash, then space. This is the delimiter in this case, right? So we are going to use this delimiter, and for each of the occurrence of the delimiter, we want to split it. So you can just see that we have splitted the data just by delimiter using the delimiter, and we can also change the rename it latitude and longitude, latitude, right? And here we have the longitude. Longitude, and now we can identify the we can show the city information, size information, everything on the map right now. Okay, so using this data, we have to also change this to proper type, change this to, or we can just go to this and detect the data type, and this will be numeric type, right? All will be numeric type, and this data, right, the latitude and longitude data, you should not make it two decimal or one decimal point, because now it will give you the particular location, right, exact location. But if you decrease the decimal point, right, if you don't have the proper decimal points, right, so it may not exactly point to the correct place, right? So now this data will correctly identify the cities in Arkansas, right? It will identify the cities. Here we have the Huntsville, and in Texas, so it will identify these latitude and longitude will identify those in map. So let's see. We want to just see that in a map, and fine. Let's get this and check in the field map or something like that, somewhere like that, right? And we'll discuss this map and all later also. I'm just showing you this data set, fine. We want to get the location, but not, we don't want to use the location here, but we want to use the latitude and longitude information, okay, to see the location. So latitude information, and we have the longitude information, and you can see now that with the help of latitude and longitude, you will get the correct, map. Okay, and you will see the different so it is giving me the average latitude. I don't want to see the average latitude. I want to see it. So this latitude is not the average latitude. We don't want to summarize it. Fine. We don't want to summarize it. So it looks like, okay, it is summarizing the data. Okay, we are going back to the data set and change the data set to these things we want to just, okay, we can just change this data to the this format, uh, text format. We are just changing it to text format, or okay. So first thing is just removing it. So if we just remove it, now we have these to close, and we can just see that it will not have this one, but let's see it here. And okay, this is gone, latitude and longitude, and we can just now use here the latitude and longitude information. So this is not giving the correct information, which is not correct. Okay. This should be also the numbers. Okay. Let me also place the city on the location or legend. Cities are on the legend. Okay. We'll check this. Go. It should show
I have a
this.
question.
Yeah, please.
Can we arrive at the same thing if we have the latitude and longitude on the same column? Do we have to split uh, the column to arrive at the same result? I'm just asking, like, is it possible to have the same result if we have just the same way it was before, the latitude and longitude?
I don't get it
So, but we
clearly. Mm-hmm.
so okay, so you hit the track, you split the column that you had the latitude and longitude. You split them
Correct.
into two different separate columns, right? I'm
Correct.
saying if you left it the way it was before, are you still gonna have the same data, or um, like the recommendation would be to split the longitude and latitude every time?
If
Okay,
we
yeah.
had
So before you split the columns, right? We had both the latitude and the longitude on the same column. Can
correct.
we use it that way without splitting the column?
No, no, no. We cannot use because
Okay,
you
okay,
have, yeah,
okay, okay,
this has to be given like such that it identifies the latitude and longitude information, right?
okay,
Uh,
okay,
so
okay.
yeah, so for that you have to create two different column, okay? And for
Right.
creating the column, you have to split it. Yeah,
Okay.
fine. Hmm.
Thank you. Mhm.
Here now on this, map. So though we are going to see the map later, right? We are just going to see here how we can use it, right? So this, split these columns. Okay. The using the latitude and longitude, we will be able to just currently point the correct position, right? Where this location will be there. So states and all that should be, we should be able to get it, at the correct place. So we can also, here you can see, right? These are not numeric type, but these values are numeric values, right? So we can also go to the column information, and we can change the column type from the reporting page also. Okay. Till now, what we used to do is, if we had some data which is not, correct, which is not properly set to any data type, so we were not able to use it here, right? We could not use it here. But if we see that this data type is numeric, something like that, we can even change this data type from here in the reporting, right? We can make it to the decimal number, and you will see that data type is changed to decimal number. Okay, this data type will be changing to decimal number, and yeah, this is formatting as a decimal number. So like that, the numbers will be changed. These are just the formatting, and yeah, now you can just see that all of the options for the decimal number and for the numeric data is also seen here, right? And it should not show the average. Okay, we'll see this, right? Here we have just the option to set the data type, right? Earlier it was just numeric string data type. Now we just have set the decimal data type, okay, decimal number, right? So we have the longitude, and it is showing me the not correct information. So this is just giving the average information, and we can also go to don't summarize kind of thing. So it will just give us the particular location. It should give the particular location, but here in this case it is not giving the particular location. We can go for the even location, right? And location will give me the, right, this will give me the city information. Now you can just see that we have just location information, and it is giving me all the city information, though it is not giving the correct latitude information, right? It is not giving the correct latitude information. So we'll see these various things, like, okay, for the map we are going to see it in later point of time. Okay, what are the various options we have for the map? But now what I was just showing you, the that how we can split, how we can do the basic transformation on the data, right? And how we can create the model, right? We have just seen those two things today, that basic data cleaning and modeling activities, right? What are the modeling things we have? So we just started with the model, right? We have just started with the model creation, and we have seen splitting the data. We have done those few basic operations. Like now what we are going to see in the next session, we are going to see what are the different modeling techniques we have. Okay, what are the different modeling techniques we have, and how we are going to create a model, right? And after that also we'll see the basic operations and basic activities on the data set. Okay, we have the text data, so we'll see the text operations. We have the numeric data, we'll see the numeric operations, right? So basic operations, then after we'll see the various charts and all those things, the interactivities, and then we'll see the DAXs. So it is still, it's a long time to use the DAX and all. So later point of time we'll go to that. But before that, next session we'll see the modeling or data warehousing fundamentals and the basic operations. Fine. You have any question?
Do we have to download or do any of the data cleaning that we did in the class by ourselves?
Do you have?
Do we have to download the data that, like, you shared on the G Drive, and do we need to do the data cleanup by ourselves or something?
Yeah. So it is for your practice, okay? It is for your practice to and whatever sessions we are taking, just 1 hour session. So you will be able to complete it in 15 minutes, okay? 10 to 15 minutes. Not it will not take more than that. So please do practice that data, okay? Whatever data I'm including in this G Drive, you get that, download that data and create your own report, okay? And just repeat these things, okay? And later point of time, you will be building the dashboard, you will be building the report, right? Entire report, total report, and you will be applying the advanced activities, right? So yeah, please keep on practicing that data, same data.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's
Okay.
all. Yeah, please.
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay then. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you, and we'll meet then on Monday. Uh, so we have that all today
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, wrapping up the session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.